everybody's got a marketing budget. Are you going to spend it on this? Are you going to spend it on TikTok? Are you going to spend it on YouTube? How are you going to spend your money? And if this seems like the best option to do it, then great. And I would argue that creatively, if you want engagement, there is no better option than this.
Welcome to Brands in Play, the podcast where we explore immersive marketing and the people who are leading it. I'm Nic Hill, co-founder and Chief Innovation Officer at 𝗕𝗏𝘆.
And I'm Albane Prioux, Insights and Partnership Director at Geek.
This week on the show, Roblox's Q1 earnings are strong. 𝗕𝗏𝘆 partners with Genshin Impact, and Fortnite comes back to iOS.
I am so excited about this news. But also later on the show, we have Jason Steyaert from Skylight Entertainment that will talk more about integration on Roblox. He represents some of the larger experience as well on Roblox. So he has a lot of learnings that he's gathered representing these experiences. So can't wait for us to talk to him about it.
That's right. And don't forget to subscribe, review, and join the conversation with #BrandsInPlay. Let's dive in.
Let's go.
And we're back. Albane, how are you?
I'm doing really well. I just came back, from New York, so now back into my usual setup. So it feels nice. The weather in London is stunning. I feel like I can actually, for once, brag about the weather that is maybe as good as LA, but we're ranging to like 25 degrees, which is lovely, 27. So it's really nice, and it's bank holiday weekend. So Monday is off here in the UK.
There you go.
Really, really exciting. How about
Nice.
you? How's your week been?
Busy and good as always. Over the weekend, we got to celebrate my son's 6th birthday, which was pretty awesome. We went
Such a
to
cool number.
Yeah, he's growing up. It's exciting. We got to go to a laser tag spot, in
That's
a mall.
great.
Yeah, so we had his birthday there, and it was really cool because it was like IRL interactivity with a bunch of kids
Ooh.
and adults playing these lasers, sort of capture the flag type of layouts in these maps. And it's just a reminder of how immersive, we'd always talk about immersive experiences, right? And it's really hard to top that IRL interaction, that
I
feeling you
mean,
get when you're around a bunch of people doing something.
absolutely. And I don't think it will ever replace it. I think this is why if people are scared of we're all going to be plugged in the matrix, like physical experiences, like nothing beats it. At the end, we're all humans and we love human contact and socializing. So it's not there to disappear, and we're not going to be in the matrix anytime soon. It's just a balance. But I'm so excited. That sounds really fun. There is this experience from Minecraft here. It's a bit similar. It's like all immersive, like projected lights around Minecraft, and it's exactly that. It's like that blend of like projected augmented reality content, and then everyone, I think there's like different mini games, so it sounds a bit similar, but that sounds really fun.
That Minecraft activation was here in LA, and I missed it.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, we made plans to go, and we realized that it had just got canceled. So
okay.
That's cool. I guess that's traveling around. If it comes to your town, you should check it out.
It's like there's like, obviously with the movie, there's advertising everywhere, and it looks really, really cool.
Yep, that's awesome. And the other thing that's, in my week, in my brain, is just the tariff situation. I think the tariffs have kind of chilled out in the U.S. a little bit. China's still, an issue, and I think that the impact hasn't really hit. The wave hasn't hit, but it's going to. Unless you were a small business that relies on China, I think that we're going to start to see that impact hit us pretty hard, in the next couple months. And so I feel like everyone's not talking about tariffs right now, but it's still a big thing. So
yeah, I mean, it's the elephant in the room, isn't it? It's like in every conversation, and it's also the uncertainty, I think, of what's the reality right now and what's the reality tomorrow. Things change very, very fast, so I think that's what's scary. That's what's really scary. Should we jump to better update and better news in the world of gaming, which is there's a lot of exciting news to talk about this week.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Let's jump to the news. Okay, busy week, lots
Yeah.
of stuff going on. Normally we just focus on 4 stories, but we had to kind of, we need to cover
We had
more.
to pack it out.
So we'll just rapid fire some quick ones and then we'll go into some deeper ones.
Yeah.
But the quick ones I had on the top of my list was the game marketing agency Super League has acquired Super Social. So Super League, they do game marketing on Roblox plus a lot of other places.
Yeah.
They've acquired Super Social. Super Socials was a large agency doing branded work on Roblox. So now they've become one, and that's big news for our space because there's really
Absolutely.
only a handful of top producers. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I mean, I haven't spoken to their team. I'm really excited, I think, to see them merge and the type of work that they will be doing together. So really interested, I think, to see how this acquisition is going to like develop and what else is going to unfold from it. Not more additional news, I think, that has been like communicated yet at that stage.
Yeah, big news, big changes, acquisitions. I think we're going to see more of that in the coming days or years, most
Yeah.
likely. But there will be more shifts, shakeups like that. Other thing that's interesting: Doja Cat came to Meta Horizon in the
Yes,
form
I
of a
saw
new
that.
avatar and a concert inside of Music Valley. I love to see when Horizon gets to partner with big acts.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things that it probably doesn't look as good if you look it on like a video, but I would really recommend if you've got one of Meta's VR headsets to go check it out, because the one from Sabrina Carpenter, I thought was a bit, initially I had doubts about the quality, and then I went inside and it's actually like, it is incredible actually when you have everything in VR. So I'm definitely going to check Doja Cat's concert this weekend as well. And then on my end, I wanted to give a shout out to the Geek team, but also the Walmart team and Spatial team that has released the second episode on Spatial. So we've done our review of it for the first episode, but I'm really looking forward to continue the story. It's again with the same characters, so really excited to see what story they're going to tell next on Spatial.
Walmart Unlimited, episode 2. It looks
Absolutely.
awesome. Congrats to you and the team and all the other teams involved. We did a review on it a while back. I would encourage all of our listeners to check it out. It's really
Yeah.
impressive what they're doing over there. So congrats.
Thank you
What's
so
your
much.
first story?
So my first story is a bit of a deep dive, and I will read my note because there's a lot of numbers, but very exciting that we saw Q1 24 earnings of Roblox that were out this week. They are almost at 100 million DAU. So this is massive. I think we've seen a dip in the last quarter, but this is back up, and it's a 26% year-on-year growth. So incredible. And I think most excitingly, and this is something that I think a lot of brands, when I think about Roblox, there's still this really misleading perception that the audience is young and under 13. So I just wanted to read some numbers so to give you a bit of an idea of scale. Those younger, I guess, people that have been on Roblox for a really long time are now older. And the reality is that 61 million of the daily active users are 13 plus. So that is a 36% increase year on year. So really the platform are not kids. And again, sorry for the numbers, but it's just like, it's just incredible stats. But it's 21.7 billion hours engaged. Can you imagine? This is insane, the amount of hours that people are spending on this platform. Again, a 30% year-on-year growth. And if you are a skeptic and you are going to say, well, it's the younger DAUs and the younger audience that is spending the most time, well, you couldn't be more wrong. So the people that are spending and the active users that are spending the most time on the platform are actually this 13 plus audiences. So out of the 21.7 billion hours engaged, 64%, so over half, are attributed to the 13 and over audience. So again, a huge platform for brands to activate on, and it just makes so much sense for so many of these brands to already be on Roblox. But I think if there was a time, I think for you guys, for brands to engage, now this is it.
They're gonna get to that 100 million mark. I've seen it. Like you've seen it too. Like we've been involved in this for the past like 4 years or so, and it's like I've just seen that massive growth of the platform nonstop, and it's inspiring and exciting. And I agree. It's like you just can't ignore data and numbers. You can't ignore how big this platform is and how much time people in the world are spending on it. So, it's good for us because, we obviously are helping brands activate there. And this is just more proof on why you should. And I agree with you. I think over the next few months, you're just going to see more and more growth. Next up, I found this story. I was really excited by it, mainly because of the platform or the game. But,
Yeah.
Charlotte Tilbury Beauty has activated on Genshin Impact. So this game, Genshin Impact, it's owned by a Chinese developer called 𝗕𝗺𝘆𝘆. They've done other games, big mobile games. They're kind of a big player in the space. And the game, Genshin Impact, is really cool. It's a fantasy open world action RPG. It's got massive lore, really cool art, huge audience and engagement. Have you played this game?
Yeah, so I'm quite familiar with we know the team at 𝗕𝗺𝘆 quite well. They're an incredible team, and yes, I've played Genshin Impact many times. Big fan of the game, and I'm really excited to see. I believe this is their first beauty partnership from a game perspective. So I think it's really interesting to see that they're expanding the type of brands that they're doing partnership with. And I thought it looked sick. I thought
the art is so cool. The fidelity is really good, and like they've done several brand partnerships in the past. I know they did a partnership with McDonald's last year, and I was able to like go and order it, and it wasn't like on the menu. It wasn't any. You had to ask for something special, but I got it. It was like an apple pie, and it came with like a code to like put into the game. But I thought that was pretty cool, and I feel like now they're doing more and more partnerships. But this one with Charlotte Tilbury is interesting because they're basically selling branded sort of bundles or packages of skincare products and branded mirrors and different carrying cases. That's all branded with the game. And then if you buy those on the brand's website, then it comes with these digital codes that you can redeem in-game like boosts and rewards for that purchase. I just think it's so cool. Like if I was a fan of that game, I would want that, because these are the type of limited collectibles that like mean so much to fans.
Exactly, and it's really cool, like gifts to purchase that are like quite low, quite easy for brands as well. I think it's hard sometimes when you're a cosmetic brand to redesign a whole collection. So they've done something quite smart here. It's like more packaging and gift to purchase that, essentially allow fans of Genshin Impact to have the combination of the beauty product, but also the IP of the game. And also quite smartly, Genshin Impact is a game that has a high female audience. They also have a very large creator, content creator community. So I think very, very, very well done as well from Charlotte Tilbury is that they partners with a lot of gaming influencers to amplify and send those packages over to large Genshin Impact influencers. So I thought they did really, really well on this one. I don't know if I can get it actually in London. I need to check it out, but I'd love to have it.
It looks really cool. And this was the first gaming activation that this brand has done. They have done like 3D immersive shopping with Obsess in the past, but this is the first time they've gone into a game, which I thought was cool. The only critique I have is that this is kind of a classic. There's not a ton of innovation here. It's like you buy the thing on the website in the real world, and then you get your code when you go into the game. You can't buy it inside the game. There's no sort of like automatic interactivity. This is the direction that all this is moving in. But that was maybe my only critique. What do you got next?
So speaking of popular games, we have GTA 6 that is pushing back their release dates to May 2026. The developer Rockstar Games has obviously apologized for this delay. There's been a high anticipation for the game for years now. They've teased with a trailer, and we were all, I think, excited for this to drop in the summer. So I think this is going to make a lot of people disappointed, but that also means that for the 11th Game Awards, the door are open to other developers to win the prize. The first space is ready to be taken. So that will be in December 11th. And there are a few contestants that are as a favorites. So we have Split Fiction, Blueprint, Kingdom Come, and Monster Hunter Wilds. What did you think about GTA's announcement today?
Disappointed, I would say. I've been like excited about this game for quite a while based on the last teaser that we saw last year. And I don't know. I think it's just it's a look at like AAA the world of AAA gaming and how complicated and bloated and like insane it is. You know what I mean? I'm empathetic. Like, it's a massive project. It has to be successful. It is very difficult. It is very expensive to do. But I mean, how how many times can you kick the can down the road until it's like, when is this game coming out, guys?
Yeah, I don't know, because knowing the team, there are art. It's beyond, game development here. This is they're creating a film, they're creating a world, they're creating this legacy. If we think about GTA 5 and the longevity of that game, so and the amount of work that it would have taken for a game to be relevant, you know, years after its initial release date. Not many games can do that. So I think there's a lot of pressure around GTA, and already thinking about, it's not just about the launch date, it's about how long are we going to be able to get people to engage, and like the longevity of this world. So they are not helping themselves, because obviously it's creating even more tension and even more anticipation. But I'm sure that they know their craft, they know their audience, and they wouldn't have done that if it. I don't think they're ever going to release this game if it's not perfect. And I just trust Rockstar to really release something that is going to be perfect. But that also means, if you're a brand, you have a bit more time now to think about what's going to be your GTA strategy. So a good time for brands to engage. You should definitely, the anticipation is high. So a good time as well for brands to react.
I think we need to do an entire episode, like, once
On
this
GTA.
launches on
Yes.
GTA, and
Right.
also like activating there in a brand safe way, because it is not a safe game. So how does a brand approach that? That's something for another time, but it's
Something for
definitely
another time.
interesting. So my story is awesome. I'm really excited about this. So the Fortnite app will return to the iOS Apple Store, because it won a legal case, which is really exciting. I'll give the context there, and I want to get your point of view. But in addition to that, always every week, cool stuff is happening on Fortnite. So I just wanted to call out a couple things. The Star Wars update launched, which looks amazing. Quality's really cool. All the characters are there. They even threw in Darth Jar Jar, which is a trippy kind of meme character, which I thought was cool. Also, I love how they're tying in the Disney Plus and Disney relationship, because they're going to release the new animated series, Tales of the Underworld. It's a Star Wars series. And they're going to release those in the form of watch parties in Star Wars Watch Party Island. So that's cool. I don't know if I've seen like a TV show watch party in Fortnite yet. So I love to see that.
Yeah, I can't think of any. I think that would maybe the first. That would be
Yeah.
exciting, actually. So you could
I definitely
check it
need
out.
to check that out to see
Yeah.
how immersive they made that. Because oftentimes when we see a screen in these virtual environments, if there's nothing going on, it's like, what is the point of that? So
Yeah.
curious to see what they did there. And then they also have a Star Wars themed experience that you can check out in the space. And they also tied in the fact that if you have a Disney Plus account, you can unlock a First Order Stormtrooper skin. And that is the cool, like, red looking Stormtroopers. So
Yeah.
that's cool. I love how they're
Yeah.
connecting the dots externally.
I mean, we're really seeing the investment that Disney has made, and I think it was about time that their sister app was starting to like internet with one another. I think we've seen a lot of the Disney IP coming in, but it's really exciting to see the other like Disney touch point outside of the IP, but also their streaming platform. I think connecting with Epic. This is I just think that we're just scratching the surface of what this partnership is going to unfold.
Something
really
like
excited.
$2 billion investment. Like, and we're waiting around. Like, what are you guys doing? This is a big launch, so let's see how it performs and see what it looks. In addition to that, I'm a big Marvel fan. The Thunderbolts movie is coming out. They released 2 new skins for the Winter Soldier and the White Widow. So those look pretty sick. But the big news is Fortnite app is returning to the iOS App Store. It's been gone for 4 years. There's been this legal battle back and forth between Epic Games, that owns Fortnite, and Apple. And the beef is all about these in-app purchases and these external app purchases. What I mean by that is, if you have a video game and it's distributed through Apple, every time you sell anything in that game, Apple takes a tax of every single one of those purchases. They also take a tax of external purchases. So like subscription models and other type of external things. If it's somehow connected to that game, they found a way to tax it. And this is one of the beefs that the Epic founder, Tim Sweeney, had, was like, I don't believe it's right. I think it's illegal, should be illegal. And they've been back and forth in court. He's lost a couple times. So they basically pulled Fortnite from the entire Apple ecosystem. So anyone who is on an Apple device can't play Fortnite unless you had downloaded it a million years ago and you still have it on your phone. Otherwise, no new downloads. So that changed because there was a court case that found it basically illegal for Apple to do those external purchases. So you can still tax the in-app ones, but anything that's like hovering on the outside, they can no longer tax. They deem that anti-competitive, and they ordered them to stop immediately. So Epic has decided to re-release and come back, which is a big deal because Fortnite is already like a massive game. It has a massive audience, and that's without Apple devices. Now it's going to be released to everyone. What kind of impact do you think that's going to have?
Well, first I want to praise the effort that Tim Sweeney and obviously all of the Epic game has done, because I think it was a massive move to not only believe, and I agree with them that this was not right for this to be essentially a monopoly, and you had no choice to obey by the rules of the iOS platform, and also taking the decision, which was a massive impact for their business, of removing it from as we know, most games now on mobile, and this is how you gain growth and traction. And yeah, I just think this is incredible. Like, I think I'm more interested to see how it's going to impact Apple in the future, because I'm probably we're going to see more developers leveraging that. So I'm really excited. I do play Fortnite on my like little Switch there, but it's not the same, and it's not as touch and go. And I would love to be able just to grab it on my phone, and I think that's how I used to play before. So I'm just so excited, and I think this is going to be massive to acquire new user base as well on their platform. And Fortnite is becoming now more and more UGC platform as well, and very similar to the type of content that you see on Roblox. So I think this has a chance to be a huge, I guess, a huge competition for Roblox potentially, and especially with the audience, aging up, you might have more of a crossover than before in the audience and I guess interest. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see the type of content, the type of creators that be on these platforms, and users shift as well. So that's my key takeaway. I'm really excited, and again, like, huge congrats, I think, to the Epic Game team, because it wasn't a smooth ride to get this over the line.
Yeah, absolutely. A huge congrats to them. It's definitely exciting, and I agree. I think there is some competition coming for Roblox, and they got to take that seriously. But I think it's time to jump over to our real-time review. What are we doing this week?
So the game that we're playing for real-time review is Dress to Impress. Now, if you're on Roblox, you are obviously familiar with this game. It is massive. It only released, I believe it was a year or 2 years ago, and it already has, I'm just checking Geek now, 6.8 billion visits. So huge growth that they had over the last, since their launch. And I think this was one of those games that not only, took over the Roblox platform, but also went outside of Roblox when we had James Charles and really big influencers that are not Roblox players talking about the game, and it filled TikTok of content as well. So that was the first time that we saw people outside of the usual Roblox community talking about a Roblox game, creating an account for Roblox, and then experiencing the platform for the first time to play that game.
Yeah, let's go see what all the hype's about. Let's go.
Okay, here we are. So the whole, I guess, have you played this game before?
I have. This is an awesome game. This is very fun. I love the core loop, the game loop. It's very, very simple, very easy to pick up. Essentially, you spawn in as this sort of mannequin type of character, and the game is designed where a theme is created at random, and then you have a short amount of time to customize your avatar to look a certain way,
Ooh,
and then everyone votes on how you
yeah.
styled it.
Well, we
So
already started. The theme is thrift store chic.
thrift
Ooh,
store chic. So run
love
around the
that.
environment, try to find clothing to customize your avatar to fit that theme, and then there's a runway show where
Uh,
everybody votes. So
5 minutes, not
let's
that
go.
long. We do have some incredible thrift shop experts in our office. Shout out to Sam. And I just feel like I'm going to disappoint him. I'm going to try to channel him for this.
I am
What
not
do
much of
I
a
have?
fashionista, so I don't know how I'm going to do in this, but I'm
Why
going
do
to
I
do my
have?
best.
Oh, the hair, guys, look absolutely amazing. Oh, I love this. Wait, what would thrift store chic? I feel like it has to be a bit, you know, flou and no French.
Well, I'm
Let's
going with
see.
the bear head. So I don't know if
Bear
that's
head.
yeah, I found a bear head. I think it looks good. I got my jeans, they look good.
This
Backpack.
looks so cool. I think something that is, that Dress to Impress does really well is also the quality of the items that you can get on here. So this is not items that you can buy on the marketplace, then you can take away from your avatar. It's all in the game, and I think this is why as well the quality is as it is, because it doesn't have to follow some of the rules that you need to have when it's on the marketplace.
Okay. So I've got this cool look.
Oh, 3 minutes. Okay, God,
Okay,
I
3
need to.
minutes. Time is ticking.
Why is this more stressful than NASCAR last week?
The stakes are high.
The stakes are high. I don't know if I like the dark hair, but I will try to do. I have this top that's like piercing through my t-shirt. This is not cute. I need to find another way. Wait.
Okay, now I sat down at the vanity where I can customize my face and my
Ooh.
makeup, which is needed because I don't even have a face right now. I don't know what that's about. Oh, I gotta buy this. This is where they get you. This is you have to spend some money to make your makeup look. So I'm not gonna do that.
We're going
Okay,
pockets.
customizing hair. Wow, they got so much great hair
Where are the
options.
vanities? Wait.
It's off to the side. Oh no, you can put like too many types of hair on.
So fun. I love this game. Okay, I think this is why this is so popular. There's so much stuff that you can do. You don't have time to look at everything.
Yeah, well, the
Um,
pressure's on. You gotta style quickly, and
I
there's
know.
so many options, which make it
Oh no.
really fun for
Wait,
customization.
I think I'm gonna go for the one with freckle. I feel like that's a bit more fun. Very Gen Z, I think. Don't know. Oh, I see what you mean. I wanted blue eyes. Not gonna get the blue eyes.
I have no face. I have 3 sets of hair and a bear hat on all at the same time, and I think it's not a great look, but I don't know how to fix it.
Da da da. Confident. There you go. We're confident.
Wait, are you the one with the beret?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there you are. Okay, that's a good look. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just like looking at the others. Don't know if I'm gonna win.
Oh, there's a
Wait.
mermaid flying
Oh, and
around.
this is, oh guys, look. So this is the brat area as well. Why can we open this? This is cool.
You probably need to have some special access for that.
Yeah, I need to like up my game so I can play more of it.
Okay, 20 seconds. 15
Okay,
seconds.
20 seconds. I'm just trying to think if there's any accessories. Who would
Time's up. Let's go. All right. How'd we do?
Do
Okay.
we think this is giving thrift shop?
This is that's not thrift store vibes. That's like, I don't know.
I
That's
feel like this is
1
this
star.
mean?
1 star for me.
Oh, I've put
I
3. Okay, I'm not that mean then.
I mean, look, it's a cool look. I just don't think
Voting
you're not gonna
complete.
find that at a thrift store. Okay.
Oh, this is cool. I
Yeah,
like this.
this is a vibe. Okay. She's
I like
got
the
I'll give her a 4.
same.
Yeah. No, that's awesome style.
The detail, I don't know. This is fun.
Yeah, that's fun and creative. I can see how people really get into this because they can really customize outfits
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
fashion and looks.
And the thing is, like, everyone is, oh, this is cute as well.
Oh, this character has
Like
a,
I don't know if it's thrift. I don't think this is thrift.
I'll give it a 3. You might be able to find that at a thrift store. She's got the teddy bear. She's got the vibe.
Yeah, I feel like this is more like college. I don't know. But maybe not. Actually, you know what? I have no idea what people are wearing these days.
Oh, Evelyn.
This is more.
She's got like a little Red Riding Hood vibe.
Yeah.
And why is this thrift store?
To
This
me,
is like
this
a
is
Halloween
not in the
costume.
theme, but good effort. So I'm putting 3.
3, it's fine. It's just like, this is the type of thing that you would find at a costume store, not a thrift store.
Yeah.
Oh, boom. Who's this?
Oh
Who's
my
this?
God.
Nic
Absolutely.
Nass.
Yes. Do you have
I mean,
Okay.
look,
I'm
I'm gonna do my
4
poses.
for effort.
Sleek. Okay, that's my pose. Look, guys, I don't have a
you have
face.
the booty, you have the little booties, so why not? The boots were good.
Okay. This is a cool little look.
Yeah, I'm gonna put 3. Oh, I guess the sneakers
3.
is what's making a thrift, but
Yeah. Oh, she's got all kinds of emote poses, though. She's on fire with the poses.
I think I just
Okay.
put 1. I've put 1 pose.
Yeah.
Oh, this is cool.
Wow.
This is sick. This is very good. I like this.
But are you gonna find that at a thrift store?
Yeah, because it has holes and stuff, and she's made like the effort of like everything being red and toned.
Yeah, that's pretty
I like
cool.
the boots as well. The boots are really nice.
Yeah. Okay,
This
there
is
you are.
me.
Oh, with the basketball. You're like so street style. And the beret. No, that's and the shoes. That's good. I'm gonna give you 5 because I think that this is very realistic. I think you could come out of a thrift store with that. You can come out of a Goodwill with that. Yeah. Voting complete. Is that it? Okay, well, we got oh, here's the mermaid. This is what I love about Roblox. It's so weird. We got a red mermaid holding a black cat floating in space.
See, these are the paying. Oh,
I'm gonna give this 2 stars because I don't even understand what this is. No one. I mean, it's cool, but okay. All right, that's it.
Oh my God.
That's it. Let's see the results. Oh, you got 3rd place.
Oh my God! Yay!
Congratulations, Albane. Now I didn't rank, which I think is weird. Well, I didn't come in last place. I came into 2nd to last place, so I'll take it.
That's going good.
Okay, I'll take it. All right, you guys be the judge. Okay, now start. Okay, you guys be the judge. Let us know who wore it better. But time to move on to our next segment, our sit-down interview with Jason Steyaert from Skylight Media. We're excited to talk to him. He's done a ton of great integrations on the platform. So let's jump to the interview.
Let's jump in.
Okay, so we've got Jason Steyaert. He's the founder of the production and management company Skylight Media. He's got a strong background in media and entertainment and has worked across film, television, gaming, and digital platforms. He was an early mover in the Roblox marketing space, where he worked at MGA Entertainment and brought IPs like 𝗕𝗏𝘆, Rainbow High, and Bratz to Roblox in the form of branded integrations. Since then, he's launched over 20 Roblox activations with major brands like Nickelodeon, Visa, Universal Pictures, and a ton of others. Jason, I first met you at the Roblox Developer Conference like 3 years ago. That was definitely like early days when we were both getting into this. And since then, both of our companies have grown. Geek has grown. We've all done so much. I'm sure we've got a ton of war stories to talk about. So we're excited to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. You guys, good friends, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, lots to unpack, so let's get started. First question, for the listeners who aren't familiar with you or Skylight, can you explain clearly what you do for brands on Roblox and how you do it?
Yeah, so when I started this venture, I saw an opportunity to, instead of represent the brands where most agencies and companies were going, I wanted to represent the games where all the players already are. And what it also sort of did, and what I've realized over the years, is that it sort of aged up the playing field for these developers. It really helps them accomplish like a real business plan for them in the future. So rather than them just being like, oh, we have this game, it's really cute and fun, it's like, how do you turn that into a business? So much of what I do is the management, is the holding hands, is the strategy. And so it's not just about, for me, like, I'm not an agent, right? I'm not trying to agent these people. It's how do I help, like truly help these developers grow into an actual business as a mentor and as like a business partner. They're all incredibly talented and professionals. And so that's really what I look for in a partner more so than anything, to be able to know that I can help them grow.
And Jason, I'm really curious. I feel like everyone in the industry has a very unique background and I would love to know how did you come into the space and what got you excited initially with Roblox and the platform and the creators behind it?
Yeah, so to make a long story short, I come from a traditional film background. I worked in the studio system in Hollywood for about 10, 12 years. I'm still in that world a lot. I have a lot of relationships there. I'm putting together some movies and some TV shows. I represent a screenwriter who's got some stuff set up around town. But in 2017, after being a development executive at a studio, I had this crazy idea of like, I just thought like, whatever happened to Beanie Babies? And so that led into a cold call to 𝗘𝗍, which led into, them being like, well, we haven't figured anything out yet. If you have an idea, come to us. And so I put together this idea for a mobile game, not really being a mobile game player or developer, with this whole storyline. And I pitched with 𝗬𝗏 Chicago, pitched 𝗘 and the team, and ended up getting the rights to Beanie Babies and making a mobile game for them and creating that universe. And then that led into getting a job at MGA, and MGA was like, well, you've made a game before. What's this Roblox thing all about? And I was like, I don't know. I've never heard of it, but it seems like it's for kids and this makes sense. And so when I was there, I realized that there were only so many people playing this LOL game that they had made and they paid for. And so I realized like, okay, well, we should probably not spend a ton of money that this agency wanted for live ops when 10 people were playing it. So we started integrating into the brands into other games. Then I went to Roblox Developers Conference, where I met Nic, and realized there was a real opportunity here to take my production management background and then bring that into this space. And nobody had really done that yet. And I kind of was very off the radar and still like to be a bit off the radar, like no website. Like I don't want other people to sort of pick up what I'm doing. And now I feel like I've got a few years ahead of the pack trying to do this. So that's how it all started. A little cold call to 𝗘𝗍. That's it.
Yeah, well, amazing work over the past few years. I think you definitely do have that competitive advantage and you're way ahead, which is awesome. So obviously you were introduced to Roblox and you learned about it and you activated there. Since then, I'm sure you've become very familiar with other UGC gaming platforms like Minecraft and Fortnite and all the other leaders that are massive. Why put all your eggs in one basket on Roblox? I know that you're not really diversifying right now.
I mean, that's a good question. I feel like, throughout my life, I've diversified my life in many ways, whether it's friend groups or sports or, entertainment, and just, I'm sort of friends with everyone. I don't like to have like, I have my, my close group of friends, but I've always been super broad. And I've sort of realized that this is a space and a platform, one, I strongly believe in. Two, it's by far the largest platform, UGC platform by a long shot. And Albane, I want to hear your notes on that also and how other platforms are growing. But I've gotten pretty good at it. Like I feel like I don't want to be good at a lot of things. I want to be really good and be a master at this. And when I get to that point, which I'm working on, and I feel like I've gotten to a really solid place and I feel really comfortable with it, then I'll feel comfortable to be able to expand. And I know we'll get into in a sec what the other platforms are doing, but and then in the next year or so, it's certainly something I'm paying attention to.
And I think something that you mentioned is that immediately you went into, well, I think what was interesting with your background is that you saw what was the the engagement that, you know, some brands could get on owned. And obviously you went on to doing more integration because this is where you saw more traction. I'm curious to understand what your perspective is with now. There's so many ways that brands can engage on Roblox. You have programmatic ads, you've got integration, you have licensing, there's owned as well. So with your understanding, I think of the platform being then really being focused on that platform, can you help brands, I guess, understand like what are the differences between each of these type of activation and like why integration and how does integration fits into one brand strategy?
Yeah, I mean, I go back to why I started representing some of the biggest games on the platform. It's because it's data and that's where the players already are. I mean, we can spend a lot of time and money um, trying to do our own thing. And there's certainly a strategy there to have an owned experience. But what I've found working in kind of the corporate creative environment is that there's a lot of churn. I mean, this goes like I could dig so deep down here, but there's a lot of churn in executives at companies. And one of the biggest issues being, I've seen this, whether it's toy companies or studios or wherever, is you've got one person that comes in, has an idea of what they want to do. They want to, they want to create their own experience because they want to own that for their boss and their career and all this. And then perhaps they get laid off. And then the next person comes in and they're not willing to spend the, $1 million or $500,000 that's needed to keep that thing up. So when it comes to an owned experience, if you're going to commit 18 to 24 months, maybe 12 months at least, with the whole marketing plan around it and how you're going to leverage that experience, then go for it. Have that plus have, media spend, plus have integrations, have the whole package. But for brands to just come in and say, hey, I'm American Eagle or a clothing company, like at what point did clothing companies become game publishers? Like then they have to hire a whole staff to do this, and it's like it's so much more work than people think it is, and it's so much more costly than people think it is. Totally depends on the brand strategy and what their long-term vision is. Movies, great example of you need to come in, you need to market, you're gonna spend a lot of money up front. You don't need to have necessarily an owned experience. Brands might see that differently, or clothing brands, product brands might see that differently. So I think it's a package that we should be building, but I also would just automatically suggest that to someone.
Yeah, I think clients respect honesty. Obviously, we all want success at the end of the day. There isn't a real value into taking a client's money, bringing them to the platform, not seeing success. It's going to be a lose-lose kind of across the
Yeah,
board.
and it's not good for the platform. It's not good for Roblox. It's not good for any of us. Like, I think we're all on the side of trying to, help make this the most successful way to market and to innovate in the world. And I think we're on our way to doing that. And I think there are unfortunately, a lot of bad actors out there that are trying to sell just to make money and overpromising things. And one of the most frustrating things is when I work with a lot of agencies, is when they're selling something to the client without telling us what they're selling. And then at the end of the day, we're not hitting numbers. And it's like, I could have told you that. Why are you telling the client that? Like, we need transparency here. This doesn't work for anybody. I would have rather not done that project if I knew that this was going to be the outcome. So, but that's the benefit of working directly with, honest, good companies, which there are several out there like yourselves, and directly with Roblox, which is always nice, or directly with the brands.
Yeah, well, it's just so important to help guide these brands and help them find that success. And I think everyone on this call has done that several times, and it's been cool. But Jason, like, what advice would you give to a marketer or a marketing team that might be listening to this and really curious about Roblox, but has zero gaming experience and isn't maybe quite ready? What do you tell someone in those shoes?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, look internally. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? Is this the right platform? Do you have the amount of time necessary for this? Compare it to other CPMs, right? It's like everybody's got a marketing budget. Are you going to spend it on this? Are you going to spend it on TikTok? Are you going to spend it on YouTube? How are you going to spend your money? And if this seems like the best option to do it, then great. And I would argue that creatively, if you want engagement, there is no better option than this. YouTube can't give us this much engagement, right? Like we're talking 5 to 15 minutes of engagement. People are scrolling through TikTok in 2 seconds. They're not paying attention. They're just moving on to the next. Same with Instagram. That's a great strategy to have. That should be part of your overall media plan. But you know, look at this as like super additive and like can really jumpstart something. But I would also say talk with a handful of different companies. Don't just go to the first one that tries to sell you something. If they're trying to give you guarantees, be wary about that. Ask what a guarantee means, right? I don't do guarantees. Our developers, we don't guarantee anything. We've done this so many times that we give estimated ranges because again, to me, that's the more honest opinion. We don't know what's going to happen. And then we can build in like sort of like minimum thresholds, right? If for whatever reason and here's the other thing too, I'd say also look at it from an MAU perspective versus like a guaranteed engagement or impression perspective. And this is me probably talking myself into a hole right now, but it's the most honest thing. We can put more and more posters into an experience to jack up impressions, right? We can get 100 million impressions if we want. We can just turn it on. But that's why I would look at the amount of players you have in an experience that gives you a general sense of your reach. And then how do we build around those players in the most cost efficient way that will compare against other platforms. So definitely like do the research, talk with multiple people, figure out a plan that works best for you, not for the agency necessarily, and take it from there. Or else just
And I
talk with
guess
the developers and we can give like very clear data.
absolutely, Jason. I think you're spot on. Where I feel like it is a new platform, and I think there's a lot of research that goes into it, and being quite clear about why you're going inside those platforms to begin with. For the brands that are, I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are with the evolution of integration, and I think. Looking in the future and how brands are going to engage on the platform, like what do you predict to be the future of integration, and are you looking at also like any other platform outside of like other UGC platform outside of Roblox, like what does the future of like I guess of this model looks like for you?
Yeah, I mean, we just got news that Fortnite's going to be back on Apple, which
Mm-hmm.
is which I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on that also. But I think that has been a hiccup for Fortnite for a long time to get the mass reach that they need. So we'll see how player usage jumps, which I would imagine it's going to jump pretty quickly. So I think that Fortnite is going to be more interesting as we see more numbers roll out, and then how they. I mean, Nic, and Albane, better than I do, but how they're going to start reporting their numbers. But I think at the end of the day, and I contributed to a Forbes article about this, is it's all about the data. That's it. That's all that matters. A CMO, yes, creative is cool, but a CMO just wants to know. They want to look at a spreadsheet and be like, cool, I got the CPM for X amount. I got my engagement up over this platform, over this platform. This is the right platform to be on. And so if Fortnite and 𝗕𝗏𝘆 and others, might have the user base, but they don't have the capacity to deliver the KPIs and or have transparency on KPIs, I don't think it's going to be as successful. I really don't. Or in my opinion, it shouldn't be as successful, and marketers should still be looking at Roblox as that opportunity. I
That's
know, again, if I were a CMO, I would be like, show me the numbers, show me the data. That's what I care about.
Yeah, that's a great note because it's not only about the size of the platform and the type of engagements that's there. It's like, what are the options for advertising there? You know, whether is it a situation where I can run media? Is it a situation where I can integrate more organically? It doesn't matter. What are those options? And how easy is it to do that? And how do you measure that success? And then how do you benchmark it to traditional media? So really, I think the winner is going to be the platform that understands that and caters to, the marketing teams that need to advertise there.
And I think even for developers, I think that's how you build a strong creator community, right? Is by giving them the analytics that they need to thrive and optimize their own experiences. So I think it's across the board. More insight around your own content is vital, and I think we've seen shift from their end to open up more data points. So I think I'm excited to see. I think what they're going to do in the upcoming months.
Yeah, and I'm definitely interested. I definitely want to be. I want to expand more, but there's no reason to at this point. I think it's still test and learn with those platforms, whereas Roblox doesn't really test and learn anymore. We know what we can do. We know the capabilities, and it's just getting better and better. But obviously, probably a fool to not be an early adopter to some degree also. So.
Well, I think we all are in agreement that Roblox is the powerhouse right now that, has the most options, maybe. But I do think that there's a lot of interesting other platforms, and time will tell. Everyone's competing. Everything is rising. So let's just keep a pulse on it. But Jason, it was amazing having you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us. For those that want to learn more about you or Skylight, where do they go?
You can go to LinkedIn. Find me on LinkedIn for sure. I'm redoing my website right now. So skylightmediagroup.com will be up soon enough, hopefully. And yeah, reach out. You can find me on LinkedIn. It's the best way.
Okay. Well, thank you again. We'll see you later.
Jason.
We're going to jump back to the episode. And we're back. Definitely an interesting interview. Albane, what did you think?
I thought that was a really good interview. And I think the key takeaway that I got from Jason is that there's not one type of integration. And depending on the brand, budget, time frame, expectation, there's going to be a way for you to integrate these games. So I think he's doing amazingly. And I'm so glad that he was able to join us again. What did you think?
Yeah, I love his perspective and the fact that he's been doing this with some of the biggest brands consistently for a long time. He knows what he's talking about. I appreciate him. And, I think the bottom line is you can't argue with the numbers. These games have massive concurrent users, huge numbers. And if you are a brand and you plop yourself into one of these, you automatically get all that traffic, all those impressions. And one of the issues is, when you kind of start your own experience or you're trying to direct traffic to a certain place, you need to pay for that marketing. A lot of effort and a lot of money goes into that. When you do an integration, you kind of remove that concept of marketing the marketing or paying for user acquisition. So integrations are great. Jason's, an expert, so it's great to have him on.
Yeah. But I think just to go back to what you said, I feel like it's the same concept as the fact that you have to promote your content on Roblox is not something that's unfamiliar to brands. And when a brand is launching their own profile page because they want to grow their followers, grow their community, and have a space where they can engage with their audience, is the same that applies on Roblox with own experiences. So I think this is when integration is great for campaigns, because this is more like an influencer marketing, a bit more like an influencer marketing point of view. Sorry, you can hear my cat.
That's okay. Well, you heard my dog earlier, so it's fine.
Hi. Yeah, but he's quirky. Like, you're not going to hear him. Shh. Oh. Yeah. Gets upset. Okay, sorry.
Stop working, Mom.
No, but he's just, it's a Bengal, so he does cry a lot. So I'm just going to, it's like having a kid. I'm just going to try to settle him down, guys.
Good.
Let me get this across. So I think it's a concept that brands are quite familiar with, but the opportunity with integration is that you can for a very short period of time and within a short window, you are essentially able to engage with a really large audience. But as you said, you need, when you have an own experience, you need to market the marketing. But the same way as Instagram, when you launch a campaign, you're going to have to also promote the content that you post on there.
Well said. And it's that time of the show where we get to complain about our lives with what's played out.
Yeah.
Let's go to what's played out.
What's played out this week? I have a guess of what yours is going to be. You can start.
Okay. Yeah. We touched on it earlier with the push of GTA 6. And this isn't really like a shots at that game. It's more of the shots at the AAA industry. You know, I feel like it's just bloated and it's too much on the line. These titles are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, kind of like big budget Hollywood and the problems that come along with that. I mean, these systems aren't working great. AAA is in trouble for the way it's performing. I just think we need to be thinking outside the box. I also don't love how, these games take so many years to create and they have these massive teams. And then when it comes out, they just lay everybody off. And there's that turn. There's a lot of problems around with AAA gaming. And I think that, seeing GTA 6 punt like another year is just more proof of that. And I hope I don't have the answers. I'm not an expert in AAA in any way, shape, or form. I just think I see a problem with that industry. Obviously, it's very important. I hope it can be fixed.
Yeah, I think my take on this is that I still love AAA because I think it's a bit. I really feel like it's a bit like the balance between a movie and social content. I think I don't get me wrong. I love Fortnite, love Roblox, love those UGC platform, but there's nothing that engages you the same way as like an incredible. Sorry about the cat, but an incredible story that you can immerse yourself for like hours. Like if I think about the one that I'm playing now, The Last of Us or Horizon, there's so many, I think, stories that are like incredible that I wouldn't want them to exist. And it's a bit like a film. I appreciate how long it takes to create a film, but the story is really worth it when it's done properly and done by a developer that has taken the time. So I'm excited to see what GTA is going to do, and I'm glad that there's still long form games that are being built, and we see indie games as well being done in a shorter time frame. And if anything, I think that with potentially, and this is where maybe the layoffs, obviously it's very hard to make money, and I think from these really large investments to create these games, but maybe this is where AI is going to lower the cost and allow more of these really long format games to be created. I don't know.
Well, I fully agree with you. I mean, it's good art. It's good storytelling. It's good culture. Just like a big budget film. They're like insane to put together and they cost a fortune, but they move culture. So these are important things. So I'm not saying AAA needs to go away. What I'm saying is we need to make the systems more sustainable for all those involved.
And I think, I'm coming from, I'm a millennial, so this is how I started to engage with game. But maybe the reality is that I'm holding on to a type of content that's just part of my generation. And the reality is that these like Gen Z, Gen A, they don't engage. Their first touch point and their first game is not a AAA game. It's Roblox, it's Fortnite, it's those UGC platform. So I hope we're not looking at a dying art, because I still like, this is what made me fall in love with the industry. But there's obviously some issues and some things, some structures to be redefined here.
Yeah, I will fight for quality and art. I think it's important, and I don't want to sell the younger generations too short. It's like, yes, they interact with like low budget UGC fast moving things, but I still think that they appreciate the world and art. So we'll see what happens there. But what's played out in your world?
Well, I had also like the same thing, to be honest. That was my played out as well. I was really excited this summer to have it live. So I think we kind of touch upon all of this, and it's just, for me, they are a perfectionist team, and I just know they're going to create something amazing, but they're not helping themselves by creating even more build up. But the only good thing, and I wrote a piece about it where, brands that had their Olympic strategy or Super Bowl strategy, they should really have a GTA strategy. This is, I hope brand realize how massive this is. So you now have one more year to decide how you are going to activate around the launch of GTA, whether that it being by engaging with the developer, Rockstars, or by thinking about what you can do around the game, or even your social strategy and what you can do. So that gives them a little bit more time to think about it, but please, please, please think about it. It is like the Olympics. It is like Super Bowl. People are not, not going to do anything else during the time of launch. And it is bigger, I think, than what people realize. So I just hope brands are prepared for it.
Yeah, it gives you a year to play the game and get versed in it and be uncomfortable and be nervous about how to activate in a game that is not brand safe. But
influencers?
Yeah. Let's think outside the box. That's creative marketing. That's what we talk about. So we'll do an episode all on that, but we've got, I guess, 365 days to think about that. So that's a wrap on our episode. This was a good one. Really enjoyed everything that we got to chat through. Tons of news stories. I'm excited for next week.
Yeah, and again, thank you so much to Jason from Skylight for joining us on the episode, and for everyone for listening. Please don't forget to subscribe and like.
And Edward, read us out, please, sir.
And that was Brands in Play. Thank you for joining the podcast where we explore immersive marketing and the people who are leading it. Co-hosted by Albane Prioux and Nic Hill. Our show today was produced by myself, 𝗕𝗏𝘅𝗍𝗀, with creative direction by 𝗕𝗽𝗆𝗆 and 𝗕𝗏𝘆𝗀𝑐𝗍𝑚, and audio engineering by 𝗏𝗏𝗔𝗍𝗀. Special thanks to 𝗕𝗏𝗔𝗍𝗆𝗆. Be sure to join us every week for brand new episodes.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the views, policies, or positions of host employers. The information shared during this podcast is based on personal experience and publicly available information and is intended for informational purposes only. Any references to specific platforms, companies, or partnerships are made in a personal capacity and do not imply endorsement, partnership, or official association with any organization mentioned.